Before I came to Jesus in 2001, I was deeply immersed in New Age beliefs, constantly fascinated by thoughts of little green men, spaceships, star portals, walk-ins, and the like. My days were filled with reading about extraterrestrial theories and discussing them with friends who shared my interests. However, everything started to change when the first Independence Day movie hit the theaters. I watched it eagerly, surrounded by fellow New Agers. As the credits rolled, I noticed how many of my friends were electrified, their eyes wide with excitement and fear. They spoke fervently about the film, convinced that it was more than just a work of fiction. That night, several of them called me, breathlessly recounting vivid dreams they had, where they received ominous warnings of an impending alien invasion, like a message sent from beyond. It was then that I felt a growing sense of skepticism creeping in, a seed of doubt that would eventually unravel my belief in ufology. In the years that followed my journey from New Age beliefs to Buddhism and ultimately to Christianity, I experienced a series of mysterious events that defied explanation. One evening, as if guided by an invisible force, I felt compelled to step outside our house. Armed with a flashlight, I pointed it skyward and blinked a specific rhythm towards the stars. To my astonishment, a large, radiant star appeared, gliding over me and halting directly above. It seemed to mirror my flashlight's rhythm before accelerating and disappearing into the night sky. This happened almost every evening for the next 4 to 5 years. Then there was the unforgettable moment when I witnessed an enormous ship soaring low above the ground. It lacked a tail rudder and executed maneuvers that no human-piloted aircraft could possibly achieve. Another time, during a visit to the renowned UFO hotspot in Hessdalen, Norway, I stood in awe as massive, enigmatic lights danced across the sky, their origins and purpose unknown. Despite having long abandoned my belief in ufology, these experiences left an indelible mark on me. I couldn't simply dismiss the reality of what I had witnessed with my own eyes. Buddhism, with its teachings of impermanence and the cycle of rebirth, left me puzzled as I stared at the night sky, wondering about the life forms that might exist beyond Earth. Christianity, on the other hand, sternly declared that any extraterrestrial presence was the work of demons, for Jesus had died for humanity's sins alone on the cross. The doctrine was clear. Salvation was exclusively for those who believed in Jesus' sacrifice. Therefore, if there were other beings, they must be malevolent spirits, as no salvation was offered to them. This explanation left me uneasy, trapped in its circular reasoning. Then, one day, curiosity led me to delve into the Bible's original languages, Hebrew and Greek, and explore its texts through the lens of ancient cultures and historical contexts. As I turned the pages, a new understanding began to unfold before me, challenging what I had previously accepted. The belief that beings cannot exist on other planets is rooted in the idea that the cross served as a sin sacrifice. This pivotal event unfolded on Earth, specifically intended for humans, and not for any extraterrestrial creatures. However, this reasoning encounters a major flaw. The crucifixion of Jesus took place outside the temple on a dusty hill called Golgotha, not within the sacred confines where traditional Jewish sin sacrifices were conducted. Therefore, the blood of Jesus did not adhere to the stringent requirements set forth by Jewish law for a legitimate sin offering. In contrast, the Gospel of John, chapter 3, provides a different lens through which to view the cross. It highlights the cross as more than a mere symbol of sacrifice. It represents an emblem of supreme authority. This authority underscores Jesus' ultimate command in interpreting the Torah, asserting that his understanding and teachings are the definitive guide for adhering to the laws of Moses. If you delve into the original Hebrew text of Genesis 1 and the ancient Greek of John 3, you might argue that the language intricately depicts God as the divine architect of the cosmos. Genesis opens with Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, describing God's creation of both the heavens and the earth. Similarly, John 3, with its intricate Greek phrasing, underscores the profound relationship between God and the world. Together, these texts paint a vivid picture of a universe crafted with divine intention, encompassing the Earth and every star, planet, and galaxy beyond. If you delve into the Bible, examining its original cultural, linguistic, and historical context, you'll find that you can't definitively argue against the existence of aliens, nor can you conclusively prove it. What becomes clear, however, is that the notion of extraterrestrial life doesn't threaten the Bible itself. Rather, it challenges mainstream Christianity. Before I began studying the Bible in depth, immersing myself in the context of ancient cultures, languages, and historical settings, I harbored a deep-seated fear. I was anxious about the possibility of aliens landing on Earth or us making contact with them. The thought of encountering benevolent extraterrestrial beings unsettled me, as it would profoundly challenge my Christian belief in the cross as the key to atonement. How could one account for the existence of intelligent beings on other planets who seemingly have no need for salvation? However, now that I am reading the Bible with a focus on its original context, my fears have dissipated. If aliens were to appear today, or if we established communication with them, it wouldn't alter my faith. Instead, it would affirm my belief in a God whose presence extends beyond just humanity. The sacred texts would remain intact, the covenant with Moses would still hold true, and we would continue to strive to emulate the life of Christ, knowing that He atoned for us before anything else existed. The only aspect I would be curious about is their interpretation of the Torah. If they reject it, I would seek to understand their reasons. If they accept it, it would reassure me of their benevolence.